poet, ladies and gentlemen, is a very warm lady who's had a lot of success, especially here in Limerick, and I'd ask you to give a very warm welcome to Brigid, Wallace.
The first one is called Ephemera, a Love Story. Just like story lovers, together they fell asleep in separate worlds, held by invisible strings. A street ballad once carried their names to the far corners of the town square. A balladeer pinned them to the door of a public house, where side by side on the page they continued to dream, each in the name of the other. Later, a sailor wrapped a piece of salt pork in their tail, tucked hastily into his blouse as he slipped through the back door of a seaside brothel. And they lived for a time in the pit of his arm, the fork between one port and another harbour. A sailor whistled the ballad, and the wind caught the wordless tune tossed between stay and spinnaker. Land sighted, the sailor rummaged in his blouse for a piece of tinder. Finding the balladeer's pamphlet, he lit his last smoke before debarking. Words forming invisible fingers clung to his clothes, trailed him to the shore, to the heartlands of the ephemeral. This is called Sticks and Stones, and it's in memory of Marcy Powell, a young woman in her mid-30s who died in the Arizona prison system in 2009, I think it was. Sticks and Stones. Death under a rain of stones is a cruel and unusual punishment, but fornication is a sin. And death in a cage is barbarous, the victim dying slowly of insanity and thirst. Marcy, they said, was a prostitute, and fornication is a sin. Doing time would make her chaste again. As the temperature soared to 108 degrees, in the land of the free, Marcy died of thirst, it seems. Her linen soiled beneath her prison suit, while dignity hopped on a Greyhound bus, heading for the East Coast. As Marcy cooked in the holding pen, did she hear the preacher's outraged scream, "Let's bomb those barbarous regimes."
Brigid. Our next poet, ladies and gentlemen, give it back to the ladies again. Got to give a very warm welcome, please, to Marion.
Her name is Lola Montez, and although she had this exotic name, her real name was Eliza Gilbert, and she was born in 1818 in Ireland. But she created a lot of different stories about herself. And she was a famous courtesan who was a courtesan to many people, including King Ludwig of Bavaria. And there is also a connection to Limerick because she's supposed to have come from Limerick. But now they found her birth certificate and she didn't, but most people think she's from Limerick. sorry about that. Sligo. Anyway, this poem is assuming she came from Limerick. Lola Montez, I found you at the Nymphenburg Palace in King Ludwig's Gallery of Beauties, startled by your portrait, gazing forever from out a gilded frame. I admired your gown, its silk rustle of black brushstrokes, lace collar, bright white about your neck, cool blue eyes locked in ambition, a firm gaze in a fine-boned face, and a spray of pink carnations fastened to your hair. Your place apparently secure among the courtesans of Europe, Lola. Before the palace gates, white swans sail the royal lake. They boast of your beauty, your conquests, your rocky climb to fame, then rise and wing again towards Limerick, and swoop and settle on the Shannon River, and sing to their sisters of your infamous name. There, among the beggars, the thieves, barefoot, round-heeled women squelch poverty between their toes. Streel ragged petticoats through cobbled streets, their breasts displayed like ripened fruit. Stale perfume reeks from bodies never fully washed. Under the flame of cold gas lamps, their secret beckoning to seamen in from Europe. Your fame learned through bartered flesh, clink of coins and furtive thrusts in bitter doorways. And in the ashen hours of evening, these doxies stop to swill hot whiskey, bogged down gin. They marvel at your conquests and dream of offering up their skills in firelit rooms on canopied beds. Thank you.
Again, I see Gerard next there. Gerard, please. Give a very warm welcome to Gerard.
And the cats and a few more things in it. It's called Big Brother. When airplanes will go on water and cars will run on ice and people will be googled into thinking that they are the mice, and the fat cats in the media and the captains of finance will fix their price. We'll keep them going on bread and rice, stimulate them to have sex and sedatives to keep them nice, and we'll pension off the rebels with arsenic in their diet. But there was one mouse in his burrow who escaped their all-seeing eye. He went lean on food, fat on thought, observed the lot. He put some perfume in his pen as a bait to suck him in. He loaded lavish praise on their regime. Now they were startled, but he remained unseen. When he got the mice a-giggling, it was then they smelt a rat. They changed the constitution, gave sweet cake for this and that. Soon they discovered that within those bardic rhymes, he had fine-tuned all their crimes. He even had advised his fellow mice not to cause a fuss, or he might be branded as a terrorist. Now the muse was laid to rest. A tragic accident on a bank holiday weekend, and the once giggling mice are now silent and whispering in the dark. Who took the sweet cake?
Beth, Dennehy. Thank you very much.
This is a poem I wrote a few years ago. I started it a few years ago, and it's in memory of my Aunt Sue. So I call it Classy Lady. I'm writing it, of course, in the present tense. She weaves her way through life with a touch of class on the edge of a knife. As a still swan treads tide in a world made of glass, she weaves her way through life. In her pain and strife, she tolerates low crass on the edge of a knife. She banishes all trite, her wits gleam like brass as she weaves her way through life. She utilizes her might and when needed, kicks ass on the edge of a knife. With her blue eyes shining bright, she never says pass. She weaves her way through life on the edge of a knife.
I don't know it, but it's just Sheila Burke listening to her, so is her husband, and I think to be very appropriate also with them is Sheila's brother is also here, so I think it's nice opportunity. I'll give you a poem called Tureen. It's the name of a country house out in the country, and that's it, and I'll give you as much of it as I possibly can. Tureen, correct me if I'm wrong, to the eastward side of Tory Hill, and a little height above the round. Grass so green from mills to fill, and bush banks for horse and hound, whilst covered by fir and flower, neither a castle nor tower. The hunt will come and chase and wait, the welcome hand is out and straight, not here the hound will have him out, the Sturian turf is not for carrying found. Our house is plain, but dare the rain, with walls a strain on winter shame, the character we build without. The Bible prayer is said and heard, its story does unfold, his passions fed to read our dead, to lead the lives of kings in dread of God's own eyes, that is. Be not deceived, Tureen, be read. Romance and strife. A nation's troubling trial have talked about within these walls by men of strength and toil. Females too have had their say. Hush your woman, listen to your man. His way not hers. Encouragement or shame. admiration for his phrase and defiance to the babe in the fields of Troy down. Contrast then an evening when the sun is set and all of it, and everyone at rest. The talk and gentle visitors regret, and end today a sigh. The rosary is said and a prayer for the dead, and quite goodbyes, cheers God bless for when we meet again. The hay's been saved and bound away, the hatch is closed, the gates are jarred. That great day will never, never be an ending. This fair grandeur is tale. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.